upset. I remember this day. It was in 2000, and we were on the way on horse and cart to the market in Mogoșoaia. And that is a weekly market where you go and buy paprika and salt and material for future skirts. You also can sell animals. So here's Florica, and Florica was a calf, a 6-week-old calf that her cow had, and I had photographed the birth of Florica, and MATUSA told me that, they never really want the calf to get too close to the mother cow, so MATUSA nursed her immediately upon birth with a baby bottle, and so she kind of saw Florica as her own, as her baby, and it was something she loved to have, and every time she had a calf, or her cow had a calf, she would call her, or him, Florica. So this day I learned that MATUSA was going to market to sell Florica, and she knew that chances were that it would be for meat. And she was upset, clearly, and the Karoots arrived with her to the village, and a man ended up buying Florica, and she was really upset about it because she knew that was the end of that. And then she said, well, next year hopefully my calf will get pregnant and have another baby. I chose to put a black scarf in this print because of the death of Florica, and also symbolizing the death of MATUSA. And I believe her life did have meaning because she lived a very long life, and she was a sister, she was a wife, and she was an aunt, and a great aunt, and a great aunt, or no, am I going too far? She's an aunt and a great aunt, and she was also, I don't know, I guess a grandmother to me, even though she's not old enough to be my grandma. I lost my grandma through divorce, and so she and Maria kind of represented grandmothers to me. And she was someone I loved, and she knew that. She knew I loved her very much. All right, so over here we have MATUSA standing on a haystack, and Vasile is just kind of raking in as many leftover dry pieces of hay he can pass to her to finish the haystack off. Haystacks can take about 2 to 3 hours to make. You'll notice the one that they had made previously is a lot larger. This one is not going to be this big. They can last up to 10 years. You can trade and barter. So haystacks are, kind of like an insurance that your animals are going to be fed, as well as if you need something, you can trade the value of a haystack for something you might need. This was one of MATUSA's favorite headscarves. This is one I remember very well. I actually remember all of them, but it's a beautiful one. It's made from fine wool. And unfortunately, this came down, and this just shows the making of a haystack from standing all the way up and then sliding down into Vasile's arms. And that was a beautiful day in 2002 when they were making that haystack. And it is kind of surprising that people in their 70s and 80s continue to make haystacks. And they don't stop until perhaps they die or they're unable to. This photograph is called the first plow of the spring, and I remember MATUSA was heading out with a basket on her shoulders, and I said, where are you going? She's like, oh, I'm taking lunch up to Vasile. He's up there plowing. So I followed her up, and on her back was water, warm fried bread with cheese filling, which they call placinta, and you have some sarmale, some soup, some warm soup, and Vasile is taking his break with his traditional hat called cloak, and in the background the horses are taking a rest, and then also you see here is the traditional bag called a trista, and this is what this material is. It's woven by MATUSA with wool, and she made a bolt of it so that she would always have this trista for her to carry to the field or to the market, and that would have been something she would have done in the winter. And so this is one of my most favorite images because of her loyalty to Vasile and her friendship to him and her responsibility of walking a half a mile up the field to bring him lunch. And then she would go home and then do another chore. All right, and here we have MATUSA milking her cow, and that would be the cow that would have Florica. And she did just about everything. I'm under the opinion that the women in these villages do a lot of the work, as of course the men do. But some of the work the women do are, for instance, chopping wood. You know, here's Maria and MATUSA chopping wood, and of course men chop wood too, but here they are. Now it looks like they killed the pig here, but they didn't. The men did it. They're out of the frame, and they're washing the eye sockets out. Somewhere in here are the eyeballs, and Maria, their neighbor, looks on like they're doing a great job cleaning the pig out. So they cook daily pig food, they do the laundry, they milk the cows, they make the food, they go to the fields, they help make haystacks, they plant, they harvest. They also do a lot of the emotional work. So when someone dies, they do a lot of the crying out, the dirge. And so, you know, all these things, I think, make these women in the village in Mogoșoaia, these amazing women that I just want to spend more time with for my own inspiration, but also because I love them and I love being with them. And so this is kind of a goodbye to MATUSA, and now we have to take the exhibition down.